I'm not going to say it's a fluid situation, although it, in fact, as they usually use the word, Cyril, it's really changing. The emergency warning went out about 5 hours ago. It's very serious at the time, and since then there's been a great deal of effort put into trying to stem the flow or the erosion. National Guard helicopters, I see on television coverage, are dropping bags full of large rocks and boulders onto strategic locations where apparently the erosion has occurred near the emergency spillway. The hole that you mentioned was in the regular spillway that developed earlier this week for reasons yet unknown. That has prevented the lake from being drained as easily and quickly as you normally would in high water situations. And we're about 220% of normal rainfall since October in Northern California. So the lake is filled up without the ability to drain it under normal conditions and capabilities. That brought into use the emergency spillway.
But we are looking at a situation where large amounts, uncontrolled flows of water could flood over that spillway. That's correct.
That is what that's why the emergency was announced. But as I've noted, there's some optimism that the effort using helicopters to drop boulders in bags into the breach, as it were, will be enough to stop or alleviate the danger. That, of course, is the goal. We don't know for certain if it's going to work, but that's the major effort that's underway right now.
Here we are at the base of the spillway. Sirens behind me. Hope I'm not in trouble. I'm gonna get out of here now. I think they're letting out more water.
Mass evacuations intensifying at this hour at California's crumbling Oroville Dam. It threatens to unleash catastrophic and deadly flooding. Could be any moment.
The nation's tallest dam struggling to contain the swelling lake behind it, sending nearly 200,000 people running for their lives.
All right, Adam Housley live in Yuba City, California this morning has the very latest. Adam, this is all because of all the rain y'all have had out there, right?
Yeah, Stephen, also because the last storm that came through here, and one reason why they couldn't tell how much that lake was going to fill was because it was a warmer storm. So you had the rain, and then that rain also melted a lot of the snow at higher elevations, and you can never tell how much water is going to come down on the runoff when you have that because you don't know how much snow is stuck up there. So basically you had a significant rainstorm that was warmer. You brought the melting snow down at the same time. It overflowed the lake. We're right along the Feather River here, actually, about 25 miles downstream. This is one of the main areas that would be affected if something was to happen at the upper portion of that dam. Well, let's give you an idea of what's going on here. Basically, the dam got so full, they have an auxiliary spillover area, which is basically just a lower portion of the earthen dam where the water can spill over. It's meant to be a short-term solution. The problem was Saturday morning, that auxiliary spillway went over, and it kept going until Sunday evening. That's well close to 30 some odd hours. That's what caused some deterioration at the higher portion of that dam. If that had broken, potentially 25 feet of water would have come down the Feather River, which is where we're standing, and would have caused problems all the way to Sacramento on rivers that are already overflowing with water. So that was the issue. The good news, they stopped that overflow on that auxiliary spillway late last night. Now they're able to at least drop some rocks in, and they believe, guys, that they have a hold on this cautiously, but they won't know for sure until daylight comes up and they have a better chance to take a look at it.
Okay, and so what they're trying to do is try to drain the lake by about 50 feet to get the pressure off it. Adam Housley, we thank you very much for the live report out in California.
Thank you, Adam.
Keep coming towards us. to the next overpass and then zoom out some. Right in there with all the traffic getting out of town.
There's no overstating the real danger facing those near this failing dam system. The number of people under evacuation here tonight is staggering. At least 130,000 people are being asked to flee the area for their safety. The jails are even being evacuated. If this emergency spillway fails, people could die. We're going to take you now to an aerial look from our affiliate out of Sacramento. Oroville is a town about 16,000 people, 60 miles north of Sacramento. Thousands more in the surrounding area towns as well. You can see long lines of cars there, people just trying to get out of this area. So many people leaving at once that it's creating traffic jams. The potential disaster is so great that even the surrounding towns near Oroville are being evacuated as well. Because if this emergency spillway fails and gives way, a 30-foot tall wall of water could come crashing down on anyone and everything in its path, officials say. This here is part of the hole that's actually formed now. Officials say this is what's happened. That hole is growing even larger. It's located at the edge of the spillway. It was discovered about a week ago, and engineers have been trying to fix it, but suddenly today the hole became a much bigger problem. It began expanding at an alarming rate. We're told emergency crews are moving massive boulders, as you can see here, and bags of rocks in an attempt to plug the hole that has formed on the spillway. We're also hearing reports of very long lines forming at gas stations as people and families are quickly trying to get out of the area. Fleeing residents say they were warned earlier in the day that evacuations might be necessary, but few expected things to get this critical.
Because when we had water coming over the top of the emergency spillway, it was beginning to erode the ground, right? And when you start to erode the ground and the dirt and everything else starts to roll off the hill, it starts to undermine itself.
Everyone's panicking. Everybody just got to remember that we're okay at the moment. Try to keep calm.
At 770 feet, the Oroville Dam is known for being the tallest dam in America, one of the tallest in the world, 50 feet taller than even the Hoover Dam. Recent torrential rainstorms filled the dam to its capacity. The video you're seeing here, this is from yesterday when water first began overflowing into the emergency spillway. And this is the first time that has happened in the nearly 50 years since the dam was completed. The overflowing water, along with this winter's repeated heavy rains, eroded away essential parts of the spillway, and that is what is at risk of collapsing. Officials say the dam itself is structurally safe for now, but experts do warn that the spillway could still cause a lot of destruction if it gives way completely. Now, LA County firefighters are being sent into Oroville to help out in whatever ways they can. And for the time being, the evacuations for those 130,000 people, those will be in effect for at least the next 48 hours as officials try to get a hold of this dangerous situation. Officials do say, though, that they've been able to bring the water rushing out of the spillway that we saw there to a more manageable level. That's good news, but the danger isn't over yet.
Over Oroville Dam, be aware there are helicopters operating 1,500 feet and below. No, I'm at 2,200. There are other helicopters at 1,500 laying electrical wire down there. Airplane was down there right where they're laying the power line. There. Water would come down all of that. Should the
The Oroville Dam, which is about 150 miles northeast of San Francisco, is the tallest in the US. Over the weekend and after weeks of historically heavy rain in California, residents in the surrounding towns were ordered to evacuate. The dam itself is not at risk of bursting, the authorities said, but one contingency measure to prevent flooding failed last week, and on Sunday afternoon it looked like the emergency backup plan was about to fail too. The emergency spillway, which has until now never been needed, began to rapidly erode when water was channeled through it, creating a 30-foot deep hole. At one point, residents were told the spillway could fail within an hour, provoking thousands to take to their cars and head away from affected areas. On Sunday evening, authorities said the pace of the erosion had slowed and that its plan to plug the hole by dropping in large rocks appeared to be working for the time being. More rain is expected this week. Dave Lee, BBC News.